What's up, everybody? Good morning. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville, and you're on the Lifeboat. I don't know what that cat's doing. Driving me crazy all morning. I do seem to be live. Can I get a 5x5? There I am. I think I'm good. It's Herman Hill, Kentucky. Good to see you. Trish Killian, glad you're here. Rick Smith. Full of Hope, Charlie Murphy. So, I'm not sure if you've heard, but it's the 4th of July. Surprised you didn't know that. It is the 4th of July here in the United States of America, in the Southwest studios of the Lifeboat, broadcasting from beautiful Tucson, Arizona, where it is always a balmy 108 degrees in the shade. It's a little hot this time of year. I'm not going to lie to you, peeps. It's a little warm. And thank you, people, for the 5x5s. And for the hundreds of boxes that I still have to be unpacked. Anik Alexander, good to see you. Trish Killian, glad you're here. So we find ourselves on the 4th of July in I know that a lot of us are overseas. For those of us who are in the United States, this is the day that we celebrate the signing of the Declaration of Independence, in spite of the fact that it really wasn't signed. Really wasn't signed on the 4th of July. It was ratified on the 4th of July. Sadly, it was signed in August, but it doesn't make for as good as a story. So back in the day, they would just doctor them up and tell us whatever they wanted us to hear. But it was ratified on the 4th of July, and then they went and signed it. So it is our Independence Day here that we are celebrating in the good old US of A. And I know that for a lot of us here in America, there were. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. England still owns us. Well, I'll tell you something. We are certainly not. It just feels different, doesn't it? You know, the 4th of July and all of the things. It just it feels a little different. And Mountain, good to see you. It's a bit of an uncomfortable feeling for me. It really is. I was not because I was born the day before, although I'll be honest, I think I was about 6 before I realized that the whole fireworks thing wasn't for me. But it was always a big deal growing up. I was thinking about this. We're reclining in the chair like this this morning. I came and I got everything set up for the live feed, and I looked up and I have a countdown, a little counter that tells me how close I am to when I'm supposed to go live. It doesn't automatically go live for you. So if you space out, you're late. Or if you screw up, you're late. But I looked and I was ready to roll. And I looked up and it said, I remember the first time I looked, I think it might have said 17 minutes. And I sat back and reclined. And I just started going through the old files in the brain. And going through 4th of July's. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. Happy 4th of July to you too. Patrick, good to see you. Lemmy, good to see you. Balake! There he is. So I would, here I am, and I'm thinking back and I'm going through, and I remembered one in particular so I grew up in a very, very small town. That song, Life in a Northern Town. I mean, we grew up in a very, very small little place, my brother Johnny and I, and they had fireworks. It isn't like it is now. Like where I live, there will probably be 6 fireworks displays or 7 fireworks displays in the city tonight because everybody hosts a fireworks deal, and it's just a lot of money, and that everybody's ready to spend. When I was growing up, it wasn't like that. There was one fireworks display, and it was at the high school. They actually launched it from the football field, and people drove from 4 or 5 cities away to come to this fireworks display, which were not massive in their scope, but they were very, very cool. And growing up, we didn't realize what massive was. We a few of us had been anywhere else. But I remember about the first time I got old enough to go and hang out at the fireworks display myself. It's the 11th July in North Ireland, dreading it. Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand the dreading it. I can. But I want to say I was 12 years old, I think. And I went, and me and about 3 or 4 guys smoked a little weed and went over to my friend Steve's house. And we had a 2-lane road, right, that went through the town that I lived in. There was no highway. There was nothing like that. We grew up very, very rural, and there was one road, with a divided lane, so traffic going in both directions. And we were about 3 or 4 houses down from the high school on the same side of the road. And a guy came through in a car, and I don't know whether he dropped a lit cigarette or what he did, but this cat went off the road, up onto the lawn that we were standing on, hit my friend Steve, and then just continued to drive. And it was terrifying until it wasn't. He hit the guy's windscreen and windshield, and if my memory serves me right, caved it in pretty good, and then did like a perfect flip. And when he came back off the back of the car, he landed square on his feet. And then he sort of stumbled back onto the lawn, and it was within a matter of seconds, we were laughing hysterically. And looking back on it now, I can't imagine the terror that it must have put his family through, because by the time they heard that it happened, it was the whole Steve got hit by a car and we were all laughing hysterically. Hindsight, when you're a kid, you don't think about things like that, but it was really celebrate our independence by buying Chinese-made fireworks. Well, we have to buy Chinese-made fireworks because it's at this point it's a tradition going back to 1777, the first use of fireworks in a 4th of July display, 1777 in Philadelphia. Or so they say. And those were Chinese-made fireworks. They do. If we bought nothing else from them, chances are we would buy fireworks from them. It's not something that they're not manufactured in a ton of places. That is my understanding anyway. But I'm with you. Unless you eat Taco Bell, then you have your own fireworks. But Taco Bell once did a April Fool's prank on April Fool's, that they were going to be purchasing the Liberty Bell for the Taco Bell, and they were going to purchase it so that they had their own, their bell for the logo, and people went absolutely insane. It was like the first great, really got out of control on the internet kind of rumor, and people just went nuts. Trainee Human, good to see you. I'm flying out in the AM. Well, Kathy, our thoughts and prayers are with you. I hope it is. I hope it is boring. I hope it is without any adventure and everything just goes smooth. But I do hope you have a good time. All right, peeps. So I was back in my chair, reclining, and I went through all of the 4th of Julys that I could remember in my life, and I do actually pretty well at remembering. Taco Bell is the Alamo with food. That's funny. I wish my daughter could see that. We go around in circles about Taco Bell. I am not a firm believer that Taco Bell actually sells anything that is food. Some people just can't take a joke and let something like that Liberty Bell get them upset. Well, you know what? There was another great one, and you know what? We're off subject, but it's always fun when we're off subject. On the Lifeboat, that's what I do. I'm off subject, Tommy. I'm Squirrel. That's why the cat's name is Squirrel. But there was a great stunt done on the radio. And it's been done by a bunch of different DJs over the years. I once heard a DJ give credit to who he thought was first at doing this scam. But since FM radio in particular is very often local small stations, FM talk radio gets away with things because of how small they are, because of the fact that it's not, like internet stuff, or it's not worldwide. These little scams on the radio pop up, and everybody sort of takes a run at them. But this guy, so these two guys are talking on the radio, and they said they were having a contest, and they built it up for like a week. If you win, if you're the fifth caller or whatever, you win a free tattoo from so-and-so's tattoo shop. And the caller calls in, and it's a 6-year-old boy. And the 6-year-old boy was caller number 6 or whatever. And so he wanted the logo of his Little League his Little League baseball team tattooed on his arm. And his mom goes into the studio. So his mom goes into the studio with him, and this whole thing is set up. And keep in mind, you're listening to this. There's no video. It's just audio. So they said, look, I know some of you are going to get a little upset, but mom is here, and mom has given permission. And they tattooed this kid on the air who's struggling with the pain and doing the, ow, it hurts. And he's like, hang in there. It's a little bit. So this goes on for about 10 or 15 minutes. And then the phone calls that this guy took of people just crucifying him, telling him he was the biggest idiot in the world. How can you possibly allow a 6-year-old to get a tattoo? And it went on for probably an hour and a half of him just backpedaling and saying, you know what, honestly, like we talked it over with the legal team, and, I had reservations about it. And then just after hours of people just calling in and being vicious, he said, what the hell is the matter with you people? How could you possibly think I would allow a 6-year-old to get a tattoo? He said there was no one in here getting any ink, but it was a great skit. It had me completely, I was bought in. I didn't have the ability to get to a phone, or I probably would have been trying to call myself. Touch the Liberty Bell, but not allowed to touch the space shuttle. I touched the space shuttle once. I knew a guy in Houston that was doing something with the space shuttle, and they had one of them at NASA Road 1 in Houston, in Clear Lake, Texas, technically. And he let me, and I was able to take Spanx Calhoun in there with me as well, and we got into the back of the space shuttle. It was absolutely amazing just how big it was. Spent 4th of July in detox in 2002. I said never again. Celebrated 21 years of freedom on Sunday the 4th. Takes on new meaning. Wow. How cool is that? Wow, how cool is that? Good for you, Ann. Good for you. That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. So the 4th of July. It's I like the concept of, you start thinking about, and I'm sure that this is a prison thing, but you break the year into different parts of the year that you do. You do summer, you do winter, or you do that. Inside, it becomes football season. It's like September-ish, August, September really starts swinging, and people really start betting, and you sort of do that until football season is over, and then the holidays are a bitch, and there's just different times, and you spend a lot of time focused on it. But the 4th of July, I think, is the ideal stopping space halfway through the year. It's that perfect spot to go, all right, I made a couple of New Year's resolutions. Did I get even freaking close? Did I do anything that I set out to do? You got to wait until January 1st of 2024. Oh, Lord. Can you believe it's coming? Can you believe it is coming? Andy Paul, glad that you're here. But it is coming. It is the following year. Yes. Peace to the family out of Chinatown. The violence levels have been incredible here and around the world and everywhere, but lately in the U.S. it's been absolutely awful. Chicago's a vicious city. Sadly, the number of people that get shot and killed in that city, you're safer in a lot of war zones. Well, good to see you, Goosebump 801. Glad you're here. Truly glad you're here. So it is July the 4th, 2023. There's a part of me that thinks we better really enjoy these festivals. God only knows how long they're going to let us keep celebrating them. James Novak, good to see you. Happy Sober 4th. You know what? I love, this is a holiday that I dig, being sober. And there's no holidays. I think that's a lie. All right. It's a lie I didn't finish, but bear with me. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. I would love to believe someday I'm going to get through all three of those holidays without getting to that really tough part of sobriety, but there's something about the holidays that just kick the crap out of me, and I know that it's tied to prison. And I've been, I've talked often on here about hold on one second. Yeah, if you don't have to go to Chicago, definitely stay out, says Tim. Yeah, you know what? And I loved Chicago. Spent a lot of time there when I was younger. My first wife was from Chicago. She was from a suburb, but she was from Chicago, and we used to go out there and have a ball. In fact, make the screen do the blue, blue. And I will talk about another 4th of July. I was married to Calhoun's mom, and let's see, I would have been about 28, and we went out there to Chicago for the 4th of July, and they had this big 4th of July festival in Chicago, which is fantastic. And you buy tickets to eat, drink, and do all of the things that you're going to do. And I believe, let me see, what drugs did I put in my system that day? We were definitely smoking a lot of pot. I think I might have done a little bit of acid. But they had the Philharmonic set up, and they were playing and it was all in sync with the fireworks, and it was absolutely freaking remarkable. It really was. Yeah, that was just last year. Exactly. It was absolutely perfect. No, it was a long, long time ago. Long time ago. Sadly, it's been a few years, but one of the great fireworks displays I've ever seen anywhere in my life. I lived in Chicago for like 2 years, from 98 to 2000, back when it wasn't so bad, but I still miss the food. The food is incredible. That's called Taste of Chicago, says Chris, and he's absolutely right. It is called the Taste of Chicago. And I had a ball, man. I really did. I had a really good time. Yes, it was my flashback scene. Yeah, Taste of Chicago. And I lived in Chicago near the Merchandise Mart a little over a year. Moved to Minnesota for a better place to raise our sons, especially the schools. Good call. But you know what, Merchandise Mart, I love Chicago. I really do. It's just sad to see that it's getting. You don't want to see that anywhere, but it was just a great city. I mean, it's still a great city. It's just not as safe as it used to be, sadly. Chicago pizza is the stuff, says Rick Smith. And you know what? If you haven't had Chicago pizza, people make a big deal of it, and you hear the people argue New York style versus Chicago style or whatever. Chicago style pizza is friggin' incredible, and getting it there, it's the best. Minnesota is a snowy, cold area. says Tim. I paraphrase, but that's basically what what Tim said. It is. That's definitely moving to a very cold. But that taste of Chicago was absolutely incredible, and we ate like Vikings all day long. Sort of walked around, took Spanx with us, and you do bratwurst, you do. There's everything. I mean, there's just, and of course, got super loaded and did a bunch of drugs. And I didn't mention heroin earlier, but that's because heroin was always. I mean, there was always some pain meds of some kind. I wonder how many peeps have a hangover this morning. I'll tell you what, the real hangover tomorrow morning is going to be tomorrow morning. This is a strange holiday when the 4th of July falls on a Tuesday, but they did stretch this puppy out in most places. Yes, a friend sent me one set in set ice. There's a really good chance, full of hope, that in this country anyway, there's going to be a crap load of people. Yes, dry ice made more sense. There's going to be a crap load of people that are going to get really, really liquored up tonight. There's going to be a lot of barbecues and a lot of, but they do have a Portillo's in Tucson, so I guess it's kind of like a taste of Chicago. Okay, I didn't know that there was a Portillo's in. Actually, I think I did know that. That might be written on a piece of paper, actually. Dry ice, says Rick. So, this holiday, I'm actually, as I said, I really enjoy, I enjoy being sober. I truthfully do. Around the clock, I enjoy being sober. There are not times, I joke about it a lot. To NAC. What is NAC? Yeah, James Novak, right? The duck and dodge. Not something I miss. Joel, that's a very cool thing to say, man. I'm sorry to hear that you lost your dad. I lost mine a few years back, and it was hell. But I'm glad to hear that he left here sober. Yeah, Chris, you're so much more intelligent than I am. I knew as soon as I asked that I was going to go, you know what? I'm not going to. He's going to say something in acetylcysteine. Not sure what that does, but I'm going to take your word for it. I really am. I am going to take your word for it. That's 10,000 lakes I could probably drown in. Mr. Ray Ray, there's no time like the present. You need to learn how to swim. It's never too late. It's never too late. Unfortunately, we're actually born with an innate understanding of what it takes to swim. Hell, what is it, please? Not that I need it, but I have friends. You know what? Because of the delay, I'm not exactly sure what that question is, but oh yeah, there you go. Now I understand. I'm sorry. I'm a little slow on the uptake. Well, Full of Hope knows what you're talking about. I personally do not, sadly. But I get a jolt out of going through a DUI checkpoint on a holiday. Oh, you know what, Anne? I love that. Oh, if that wasn't meant to be funny, I apologize, but that is really, really funny to me. You know something? It was. I've said this on the boat many times, but it's. I thought to myself that when I got here, um, that when I got to where I was going, I would probably be less apt to care about police or anything else, you know. And then once the judge signed the document, and I'm free and all of that stuff, it's just right. It should be a very, very different feeling, but. Every time I see a police car, I still get that. That's funny, Mr. Ray Ray. He says he would, but he has a boat phobia. Yeah, I think that for the rest of my life, when I see a cop, I can't imagine going through a checkpoint. I'm sure that, like I told the story a while back. I got pulled over when I was in Reno, and I mean, I hadn't been drinking, I hadn't been doing drugs, I hadn't been doing anything wrong, and even still, you know, and I had been planning for so long to do this really great comedy thing, because if you've ever watched people on the internet, you know, when the police pull up and they say, you know, I'm just traveling. I'm not, you know, I'm not driving this vehicle. I'm just in a vessel and I'm traveling, and, you know, all of the different. And I wanted to drop that on a cop because I thought it would be funny, but I was a little too freaked out. Let me see if I can catch up. Not even close. I wish I knew what you were talking about, Chris. I wish I was up on it, because it seems I'm interested. I need to get Knack and Shaga. Yes. See, this would be a really good time right now to be able to buzz you in so you could explain to me what both of those things are. And if they're non-psychotropic, I think I'm good to try it. National Aquatic Center. See, Tim gets it. Tim gets it. He's with me right now. Chug CJ. Yes, do that, full of hope. Thank you. Chug chaga. Chug chaga. Chug chaga. Chug chaga. Chug chaga. No idea what that is. So it is 5:30 here in lovely Tucson, Arizona. The about 12 hours from now, everybody's going to start getting together and gathering for fireworks and things of that nature. I'll do that, Chris. I absolutely will do that, because I am, anything that repairs the body is probably a really important thing for me at this juncture. No, what are you kidding? No, you know, on mornings where we just kind of go off in any direction, sometimes those make for really wonderful shows. I don't care at all. That rotten feline. She's still getting used to the new schedule around here. No, though, and by the way, that was a great off topic. I love the Taco Bell reference. How is Heather's mom? I have not heard from Heather. I reached out to her after the show and said that I would get this. Squirrel's probably getting her fireworks ready for tonight. Oh no, Lemmy has lost his coffee. Nobody does anything until Lemmy finds the coffee. Everybody look. Everybody look. Yeah, I don't know that I could get through the day without a little bit of coffee. Hey, Bubba, good to see you. Happy 4th of July. I hope you have a good one. By the way, Buddha, now that you're here, we got to talk about something fairly serious. And not that we were waiting for you, but Lemmy has lost his coffee. If at all possible, maybe you can help him find it. It's pretty serious stuff, this coffee thing. Is there a night boat? Yes, there is a night boat. It will be me. I will be doing the Friday, 4th of July night boat. Rick apparently loses his coffee quite often as well. You know what? Here's the thing. All of the stuff that we put locators on, because have you seen these little, this setup, right, where you put a little locator on something? I saw a wallet for sale on one of the sites that I go to for watches. And they're selling this wallet, and it's got this teeny little disc in there that's not much bigger than a quarter, but it lets you find your wallet when it's missing. And the problem is you need the phone for that, and I would have already misplaced the phone. Yeah, Buddha, no coffee. You will notice that Tim is looking, though. Well done, Tim. Well done. Although very often, that's the first sign of the tweaker in the room. The tweaker, however, would have stolen the coffee and would now be helping them look for it. I always used to love that. That joke used to make me laugh every time somebody said it. That was the difference. They used to say that was the difference between a heroin addict and a meth addict. A heroin addict will steal your wallet, but a meth addict will steal your wallet and then help you look for it. That always cracked me up. Good. I'm still trying to stay calm. Kathy, have you been doing any deep breathing? Hey, that sound was Squirrel. Kathy, have you been doing any deep breathing? This would be an excellent time to implement some deep breathing techniques. And there's been probably 3 or 4 shows on it, which I realize is a needle in a haystack when there's, I don't know what we got. Have we hit 1,000 on the shows yet? Let's see how many shows we've cranked out. We got to be getting pretty damn close to 1,000. In fact, I would be surprised if we were not somewhere near the 1,000 mark. Let's see. I thought that would have told me. Wait. Yeah, 1,010. 1,010 shows. Holy crap. That's a lot, people. That is a lot of shows. And I want to thank Heather Joy for doing a lot of those. It's, the boat is a challenge. Coming up with a couple of hours worth of material is found it. Nice. Trainee has found your coffee. You see that? Glad that you're here, brother. Oh, the lost lifeboat never appeared. Yeah, never happened. Hold on. What was that? The lost lifeboat never happened. It popped up at 8 p.m. my time, but that's okay. We all had a good chat for like 4 hours. Oh, nice. Nice. Now, if there's just a way to monetize that, I think we wouldn't need me at all. That would be perfect. We are at 4,660. I'll be damned. The Systroming is on its way. In fact, I think the Systroming is going to head here this week. You got to buy that poison from the other side of the world. I think they probably are afraid of it getting into certain places. It really is nasty. 4th of July on the Lifeboat. I will put on my new 50-inch TV. Wow. That's a huge TV. Wow. How cool is that? Rick Smith has if you've ever watched the Dallas Cowboys play, and they've got that Sony Jumbotron, apparently Rick has it in his house. Well played, Rick. The world may spin again, says Buddha. We're safe. We can all laugh about it now. Mummy's got his coffee. You know, people, I thought my nose. I think Walmart accidentally gave me the wrong monitor yesterday. Dude, that and the coffee? You know what, Lenny? I'm putting this one up for you, brother. That is for you, man. That's a tough run. The coffee alone's a tough run. But you think Walmart accidentally gave you the wrong monitor. I got a tangent I'm going to go off on real short. Hopefully a short tangent. The stinky fish is pretty foul. All right, so here's the deal, peeps. In Reno, Nevada, I lived about I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, something like that from a super Walmart, and they were absolutely, hands down, the worst customer service on the planet. I'm sorry if you worked at that particular Walmart. I am sorry for my honesty, but you are absolutely the worst. I mean, I would go in and say, I want this. And half of the stuff in there is behind glass because people steal it. And I get that. I was the guy that was doing the stealing for a long time. So I don't blame them for that. But the person would come and say, yeah, the guy with the key isn't here today. So I can't sell you anything behind the glass. So I'm standing there with it, cash in hand. I want to buy that. Can't. You got to come back tomorrow. The customer service there, and that's one example of 30 I could rattle off the top of my head of just, or you go up to somebody and say, I'm trying to find such and such, and they go, yeah, I have no idea where that is. I could try to look it up on the phone, but it takes a long time. Like absolutely zero customer service. And it was something that I saw again and again, and I got to a point where I just believed that, Walmart had kind of gone to hell in a handbasket. But I've been to probably 3 of them in Tucson since getting here, sort of finding my way around. And just the most helpful people in the world. It's a completely different attitude here, which is a beautiful thing because I was getting really tired of all of the negativity where I lived. This is just some of the nicest people. I had to mail something, and the mailman had already driven away from the box, and I kind of chased him down and asked him. I tapped on the horn a little bit, and he looked up, and I said, "Is there any chance I could still mail this?" And he jumped out of his car and ran around. Like by the time I was opening my door, he was already there. I said, "Oh man, you need to do that." Everybody in this place is just kinder, and I'm absolutely stoked about that. Full and hot is good. Let me set the coffee is in the kitchen, but we knew that. Trainee human had already found it. And that's why it's important to have an entire crew of people to have your back. I mean, the coffee alone, that's a score. It really is. As often as I lose my coffee, that would be a score. So I've got a ton of boxes that I still need to unpack. I really need to get this place set up better than it is. Yes, pretty happy for you, Lenny. So the wrong monitor they gave you, does this mean that you're screwed in what you're doing? I'm also curious, Lenny, about where you stand with getting your stuff back. Is that a much longer process than where we're already at with your camera and such? I called your Walmart, Lenny, about the monitor. Well done, John Dell. That's what I'm talking about. See this? It's a tight group of people. Tight group of people. And this is R2D2. Oh, someone's jealous. You see that? I did the R2D2 thing and the cat showed up. Hey, what do you say? Not to be upstaged. Squirrel shows up out of the blue. It's a funny animal. It really is. It's a funny animal. So today, peeps, in spite of the fact that it's a holiday, I've got 2 or 3 watches that I have to work on. And I have not been doing any of that. Get back here. And I have not been doing any of that because of the move and because of all of the boxes that I need to unpack and all of the things that I need to do. It's just been absolutely overwhelming. And I really haven't gotten my R2D2. You notice that? Yes. This is R2. R2 speaks. I can, what do you say, R2? Oh, sure. It's like there we go. It's like the that Dan. Hello, baby. Hello, my darling. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss by wire, baby. My heart's on fire. If you refuse me, then baby, you lose me. Somebody get the reference, please. Somebody. You used to live in Johnson City, Tennessee? Is that what that says? Come on over. Gray, Johnson City, Tennessee. Too many songs. It's been used in so many songs. Customer service at Walmart here has been terrible, but I've experienced amazing customer service at Dollar General and Lowe's. I have not been to Lowe's yet in this town. Well, I was there yesterday and they were throwing some terrible electrical advice. Caught the guy before he left and gave him the correct info. I can only assume you're talking about a hardware store, because I have watched that show happen so many times where you hear somebody saying something and you just go, oh my God, what is he telling him? There's no way you got all of those watches to me for $10, Mr. Ray Ray. And if you did, then we need to talk about my shipping department, because I get discounts from all of the different sites, and they're $8 a watch. This is what I pay, $8.10 a watch. Wait a second. Trainee Human says, true, Buddha. I absolutely have to find something that Buddha said that was true, because this would Star Wars forever. Okay. All right. No, you know what? I've lost R2. My Wally is far better than your R2D2, but I digress. I freaking love this boat. Captain and crew, stay safe tonight. You are all in my prayers. Why, thank you. I'm a pretty big fan of Wally, actually. And thank you, by the way. But I'm a pretty big fan of Wally. Oh, look at that. The cat is chewing on my finger. She's usually a pretty nice kitty, but every once in a while, she gets a hankering to chew on me for some reason. And it has become kind of a thing with her, especially recently. Wall-E. Please tell me you've seen Wall-E. So I cannot tell you the number of times I saw that. That was a film that was popular when before I went to prison the last time. So I don't remember. How's that? Which is just bizarre. But Squirrel looks to be in a feisty mood. Squirrel has been in a feisty mood since getting here. Honestly, I mean, she's well behaved. She's just rambunctious as hell. And it's funny, she goes outside and will not step 1 foot into the sun. So we have this like a back where the pool is. We've got this overhang, and it's very, very shadowy there. And the cat will go out. If I'm there, I wouldn't let her out without me. But if I'm outside, I'll let the cat out there, and she'll go just to the edge and will not take one more step. First time I saw Wally was while I was donating plasma. You may not believe this, but the first time I saw Wally, I was being hooked up to something in a hospital too. That's a true story. I was getting these bags of fluids that are like antibiotics, kind of, but I had something called C. cardiff, and I was having to go in and get these infusion things twice a day, and it was they were really, really long. You sat in there a long time, and that was one of the 4 options on the little screen, and I picked Wally, and then I probably saw it 2 or 3 more times at the same place, and then I bought it. I step outside and I don't step a foot into the sun neither. Yeah, no, but it's pretty funny to watch her because it's like, I don't know. She's never really been there to feel it or get burned or anything. She just seems to know. It is a good flick. Kids won't watch it. Kids wouldn't watch it. It is a good flick. It's definitely a good flick. It's got the character development is excellent. It's funny to say that, but what's a Wall-E? Why do I have a feeling you're messing with me and that you know what Wall-E is? Wall-E is a movie about a trash picking up robot, a robot designed to pick up and crunch trash into really small cubes on account of the fact that we have made the Earth uninhabitable because of all of the trash that we've thrown away. This, a slightly left-leaning film. A lot of fun. It's the messages was, I think, there for kids, and kids didn't get to see it anyway. But great film. It's a lot of fun. He falls in love with a robot named Eva, and there's a small plant involved. Very great script. You should really check it out. But he was more human than any of us. Good point, and well said. And that should be on the side of the movie marquee. What am I looking at? Sorry. Yeah, it should be on the side of the movie marquee. I'm so happy there's a Starbucks in my hotel, says Kathy. I think you would have liked it, John Doe. It's animated, but I saw it long after I was at that phase of my life as a dad. I didn't see it because of kids or anything else. I never saw Idiocracy. Yeah, it's a good film. It really is. It's a good film. Idiosyncrasy was a documentary. Well, then I will definitely check that out. I've never met a documentary I didn't like. I shouldn't say that. There's been some crap documentaries. You know what? Sorry, piece of breakfast there. I forgot I put it there this morning. I don't know what the documentary is about, but I'm going to check it out. Yeah, Kathy, it will. It absolutely will. The good news is you have that discipline, right? You know what you're going to do. Number one, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to live in your own head. You're not going to let anybody else live in your head. None of that head game crap is going to, you're not going to allow any of that into your life while you're there. You're smart enough to call it before it gets there, right? Literally. You said there's a guy there. Dude does the head game thing in a huge way. It's going to mean all kinds of head games. Boom. You're that much ahead of the curve. You know that that's going to happen, right? So you're not going to let anybody rent any space in your head the entire time you're there. And you're going to be calm. And if you find yourself in a situation that makes you feel wildly uncomfortable in your own skin, you're going to get away from that situation. You're going to walk. If you can't go outside, great. Just go to a different room. If you can't get outside the room, go to a different spot in the room. But change what you're looking at, change what you're smelling, change what you're hearing, change all of the things that are touching your senses in any way. It doesn't have to be running out of the building and never coming back. It needs to just be leaving long enough to adjust that. Oh yeah, I don't even know why I was thinking of that kind of a thing, right? And of course I wouldn't get high. Why was I even thinking about getting high? It doesn't even make sense. Well, I'm glad that there's a boat tonight too. You know what? I'm a fan of the clarinet too. Wasn't that Glenn Miller? Didn't Glenn Miller play the clarinet? Now look what you did. Tommy thinks the movie Idiocracy is a documentary. I do actually. I do watch the show How It's Made. I lost a whole day watching that show a couple of times. I'll tell you something, Joel. So I've done 3 prison sentences, and I did one in the state, and I did the other 2 in the feds. In the state, you have your own television set. So I had a TV in my cell, and that show used to be on every day on one of the local networks, and it was they would play 4 of them, so it was like 2 hours, and they would play 4 episodes of How It's Made, and nothing happened on the yard during that time because everybody that had a TV was watching it. It was just the greatest way to kill 2 hours. It's a great television show. I absolutely love it. How It's Made is just fantastic. What are you doing, you crazy animal? What are you doing? I know. I suck. How It's Made is, see that? Everybody here likes it. Winnebago. Winnebagos are awesome. I'm just leaving Walmart. I had to get cat food. Great place to buy cat food. This Lifeboat was brought to you by Carl's Jr. Actually, this Lifeboat was brought to you by How It's Made. I've got cat hair all over me. Now that we're down here in the heat, Squirrel sheds. She never used to do that. I have never eaten hot dogs again after watching that show. How It's Made. That's funny. Yeah, you're right, Joel Lawson. That's a great observation. I always wonder how they pick the lineup because it'll always be random stuff like trash bags, light bulbs, and Jolly Ranchers. So it's actually a really astute observation. They never seem to make any sense at all with what they lump together. Speaking of eating hot dogs, I'm so glad that you said this because this is how I was going to wrap up the show anyway. Yes, I do remember the flick, Harry and the Hendersons. Great film. It was, what's his name from Third Rock from the Sun? I can't believe I can't remember his name. Great actor. Great actor. He was also in The World According to Garp. Played the football player who transitioned from a man to a woman. Had great film. Good film. World According to Garp was really early on in the career of Robin Williams, and he killed it. was his name? I went on a tour at Lay's Meat. They're white coming down the line. Nice. John Lithgow. Thank you, Anik Alexander. That was going to drive me crazy for the rest of the day. Guy, well done. He also says Lithgow. John Lithgow. Absolutely an amazing actor. I'm a fan of John Lithgow. So back to hot dogs. You do know what today is, people. It's the 4th of July. And that does, of course, mean there will be a competition at Coney Island today to see who can eat the most Coney Island hot dogs in the shortest period of time, right? It's like 15 minutes or something like that. And they're going to eat so many damn hot dogs. And if you watch it, it is going to make you want to vomit. Meows are too cute. Yes, well, you say that because you hear one or two of them. When Squirrel's on one, she will meow nonstop for an hour. And then the meows are not nearly as much fun. And since she's not really in the mood, I'm Tommy. And this is a cat in a basket. Now get out of here. Now she's going to get in the basket. She just likes to be obstinate. And that's what cats do. Good girl. Well played. Yes, I love it. That legendary wagon. I knew that was going to crush you if you didn't think of it. The actor was killing me. The actor was killing me softly. Yeah, John Lithgow. Great. Harry and the Hendersons. A great franchise. I liked every one of them. There was a couple of them. Yep, cat, squirrel. My barbecue was good. They did not use a smoker. They had this other thing. I can't remember what it's called. But it's like a steel cylinder that they cooked the meat in, and the stuff was just falling apart. It was incredible. I knew what you were talking about, Rick. Yeah, no, I knew exactly what you were talking about, Rick. Exactly. That's how they come down the line. And it's disturbing as crap. They're literally, and when he says white, you're talking about white. There's none of that stuff has anything. We assume it's the color of the meat. Those puppies come out white, and I mean white, and then they dye them. And it depends on what you're buying. There are different, like, I'm not trying to bum anybody out on eating them either, but this line is one color, that line is another color, and it's all basically the same thing, but they dye them. It's just foul. But they taste fantastic. They really are nasty, though. But I knew exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it's disturbing. You don't want to watch it. If it sounds bad listening to it, you do not want to see it. I promise. It's because you just look at it and go, that is not what I eat. And it is most assuredly what you eat. It's what we all eat, especially on today's date. All right, people. I'm going to be back tonight. So we'll see you here in about 11 hours. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville. You almost saw a cat in a basket. John Doe says, I've been in every food plant there is. Wow. Yes, he did. Anik Alexander says John Lithgow also played a memorable serial killer on Dexter. Yeah, they had a thing going between the two of them that was excellent. Joel Austin says, no, I have to watch it. Yes, I eat them still, Rick Smith said. Thank you, Charlie. Trainee Human, good to see you. Everybody have a great 4th of July if you're in the U.S. And you know what? Be safe, people. Don't go somewhere you don't need to be. And I hear meowing. Yes, you do. Kathy, our thoughts and prayers are with you, hon. And there'll be a boat tonight for you. But you've got this. All right, people. I'm Captain Tommy Scoville. Have a happy 4th of July. We'll see you tonight. God bless.